Hi everybody, for me and my little antenna. I have been having such a moment, such a weird moment with my hair. I can't get over it. I really don't know what to do, but it's just, you know, I did a little half blow dry and we're just letting it live. Once it's dry, I feel like it'll be okay, but we're just gonna, you know, we're gonna glow up together. I have some new makeup here at my desk that I would love to do a little look with. We're gonna do a little wear test, see how it wears throughout the day, because I know sometimes I do a first impressions and you're like, okay, but how did it wear throughout the day? So we're gonna do that, keeping that in mind today. So getting ready this morning, I have a busy day of filming, and so we'll be able to do a nice little check-in later tonight to see how it goes. Also, I don't know, you know, I can't tell if this sweater is adding life to my face or if it's taking it away, but you know what, we're just gonna go with it. Let's rock and roll. So there's been so many new foundations and base products coming out. Sometimes I'm a little bit overwhelmed and sometimes I'm like, how different could they be? However, with the few base products that we've been trying out lately, I feel like we're just getting that much closer and closer and closer to that like perfect skin finish. So to be honest, a lot of the base products that I've been seeing roll out have me feeling a little bit excited, okay? So one of them, like your most requested base for me to try, was the new Vive Skin Nova Complexion Balm. And I'm sorry this took me a minute because I did actually get this in PR, but sweet, sweet Vive sent me some very, very tanned shades. And I am very, very pale. So I actually ordered the lightest one. I ordered shade 100 off of Cult Beauty. Paid for express shipping, might I add. So here we go. We've got the complexion balm in hand. We're going to use this. Packed with hydrating and smoothing skincare ingredients, the formula adds radiant, customizable coverage for a healthy looking complexion. You can apply it with a brush, sponge, or your fingers, building coverage as desired. We love a buildable coverage. I love the packaging of this. It's very sleek and chic and sexy and beautiful. And you know, I love a little squeezy tube. I love that this seems to be a very perfect neutral undertone. Let's just check that out. It might be a little bit light, but I think it's gonna go with my neck very nicely. So let's go ahead and apply the complexion balm. I'm just gonna pat it onto my skin with my fingers and then I'll blend it out with my brush. But I just kind of wanted to see how this was rolling. I'm also filming this on the vlog camera today. Normally when I do my little makeup videos like this, I do it on the big cam, but you guys have been saying that you want to see my skin more and that the other camera is like too bright and professional looking. So hopefully you guys can get a really good up close visual of what my skin looks like as I apply this. So far, first layer, completely skin-like. Really, really nice. That just soaked right into my face. I can't see a dang thing. And now it does say buildable coverage, so I'll go in with a second layer and just see if we can add in some extra goodness. I also just want to give a little moment to my IT Cosmetics number 7 brush, because ever since I started using this, it's just, I've never looked back. It's honestly the perfect complexion brush ever for those of you who want natural finishes. It's just so light and fluffy and blends everything out so easily. And because it's bigger, it just makes it that much faster. I love it. Every time I see makeup artists do makeup, they're always going in between a brush and then patting it in with your fingers. And I think especially around my mouth, where I typically do get a lot of like breakup in the pigment, I think it is nice as a reminder that it might not be the product so much so as you could just give it a little extra touch, just a little help in sinking into the skin and give it a little warmth with your finger, and it might just be perfect. I need to use different words. I'm really running low on the vocabulary. So this looks astounding. This looks astounding and splendiferous on my face. It is so, so natural. Can you see anything? Because I can't. This is absolutely that style of coverage that I'm looking for my everyday makeup. I want my skin to look and feel like skin. If I'm not going for full coverage, I just want a little wash of something to even out the skin tone and give me a little bit of brightness and life. That is beautiful, and it is the perfect color match for me. Wow, can't wait to see how that wears throughout the rest of the day. Okay, I'm gonna go in with contour. I'm gonna use that Dior Forever Skin Contour Sculpt Stick. I have this in the shade 1 Light. And I'm gonna try and be really light with this. So I'm gonna take my brush and apply it onto the stick and then take the excess off on the palm of my hand. And then I will just tap that in. Like, see how pigmented that still is? Oh! But I'm using a contour stick today just because I am wow, that's it's still so pigmented. Oh. Use a light hand, my friends. A little bit goes a long way, but I am reaching for my lighter, more cool toned contour stick just because that complements my skin tone the best at the moment. So I'm just gonna take that around my face, getting that right into the hairline and blending it in. Lately, I've not been adding too much to my nose, but I'll just kind of take whatever's left on my brush and just run that over. Run it over. Run it over like I'm in a vehicle. Beautiful, amazing. I'm just gonna go back with my foundation brush and just blend that over top of everything. And because these bristles are so light and fluffy, I feel like it just helps everything melt together. Loving the look of this very glorious, glowy, natural base. Let's go in with the Tower 28 concealers. I have picked up the lighter shades in these. I have BH and BU. I don't know what I'm feeling at the moment. I think I'll take a little bit of BH, which is the lighter of the two, and I'll just put that right on the insides of my face. And then where I just have a few more spots, like I have a little bit of redness here, just a couple bits of discoloration along my chin that I would like to just add a little touch of extra coverage. So I don't want that heavier coverage all over my face, but definitely just around my mouth and a few of these spots. Like, I don't necessarily need it. It's just nice to have, and that extra layer will just kind of help it stay throughout the day. And kind of around my mouth is where I accidentally tend to touch my face throughout the day, so having a little bit of extra help there just helps when the redness builds up later. And I'm just gonna do the same thing I did with the foundation. I'm just gonna blend this out with a brush, and then I'll just pat it in with my finger, which I really wanna do a video talking about like some updated makeup artist tips, but this is like a classic. It's a classic tip that we have seen so many times, but sometimes it's just nice to have a little reminder. And we can sometimes forget to do this, but just helping to push that product into the skin just really helps it to adhere and blend in to the skin and look the most natural. So just going between the brush and my finger, it adds a little bit of time to the makeup routine, but I feel like it makes such a difference. As I'm blending this out, I would just like to acknowledge the fact that I have finally found like the perfect neutral shades that actually match my skin tone. I'm sorry, these are perfect matches for my skin right now. One more time, I'm gonna go back with my foundation brush, and I'm just gonna dot that all along. So it's kind of like we're not doing a full underpainting because I started out with the complexion balm, but just going over top with this brush, I feel like marries it all together and just puts that nice little layer over top to take away any of the lines that might be there from the contour and make it look the most natural. What a beautiful base that is. I feel like we're like totally perfected while still looking like completely natural skin. Oh, I am so excited about that. What a gorgeous combo. Okay, I'm gonna set this in using the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. Love to do this and just let the layers soak in while I go ahead and do my brows. I have nothing new to report here, but I am gonna use the Victoria Beckham brow pencil, and then I have my Benefit 24-hour brow gel. Just go ahead and set those bad boys in. Ever since I started shaving my forehead and shaving this area above my brows, I really notice it when I don't do it. I just feel like there's like a little gray haze above my brows, and every time I shave it, I'm like, ah, yeah. And right now when I haven't, I can't unsee it. The brows are on, I'm gonna go back to the face. I just wanted to pull out a little old favorite here. I'm not using a new blush, but my Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer blush in Provence. These blushes just don't get enough hype and love, and I just really think that they're some of the most magical blushes that have ever come out on the market. So I like to put a little dollop on my hand because a little bit goes a very long way with these. I use my Refer 04 brush to apply this, and I just dot a little bit on top, and you can see it's one of the most beautiful, glowing, natural looking, easy to apply blush formulas that has ever been existent. Every time I've tried like a liquid blush since then, I'm always like, the Laura Mercier ones are better. And I'm just saying this because I really hope that they never take these away because they are so good. And the shades in particular for my skin tone are just like the perfect neutral pinks. I have this Provence and also the shade La Piscine. I feel like every once in a while people just go ahead and change the shades, so I really hope that these two still remain, but I just love the tones of these, and I think that it's actually really complimentary for the fall time for me because it is that, I don't know, it's like a neutral pink, but it's still a little bit warm. So I think it kind of, I mean, it looks good all year round, but it can be really complimentary with whatever lip I'm putting on. Even if I put on like a deep berry lip, this can still be so pretty. If I put on a product like the Charlotte Tilbury Color of Passions Lip and Cheek Glow, this can still look so good with it, or just nothing. If I put like a plain gloss, like it's just really versatile and looks good with so many things. So just wanted to pull this out, give it some extra love, and just say if you're in the market for a new liquid blush, this is one of my favorites of all time. I'm gonna take a little bit on my nose too. Sorry, I feel like that was looking a little bare. Along with all of the new foundations and base products that we've been seeing, there's also been so many new powders. So pretty much like ever since I moaned and cried, I mean, we all collectively moaned and cried about the changing of the Givenchy loose powder formula. There's been so many powders that have come out since. One of them is the Kosas Cloud Set Baked Setting and Smoothing Powder. This one's in the shade Candy. It's a sheer brightening pink. And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really gotten the hype for the Kosas base products. I feel like so many people rave and rave and rave about their concealer. It's never really been a standout product for me. So I am curious to see how it goes with this powder, but it looks very promising and very beautiful, very smooth to the touch. Let's give it a test. You know, it's not really fair when I do this if I'm testing out a base product and then I'm also using a new powder. Like it's kind of, we'll just have to see. But I'll do one side first so we can see. I'm taking a tiny little bit with the brush, dabbing it out on my hand like I do with all of my powder products, and then applying that to the skin. I mean, it looks super great so far. You don't necessarily need to use a pink powder all over your face, but I just do for ease. So we can see this side with the powder, this side without the powder. Really nicely diminishes that shine in there, but it still leaves a glow behind. It's not as like mattifying and blurring for sure as the Givenchy one or the Makeup by Mario one, to be honest, but it still looks very, very natural. That's really nice. And then I always put another layer of setting spray on top, which kind of helps to have it soak in even more. So I feel like this could be a really promising, delicious looking powder. Don't want to speak too soon, but it looks good. Usually if something is a little bit too dry for me, I will instantly get that like suction underneath my eyes especially, so it's not happening thus far, which is a good sign. Put a little bit here and a little bit on my forehead. So far so good. That's looking really nice. I forgot to pull out a highlighter. Who am I? I'm not going to use a new highlighter. I'm sorry. I'm just going to use the Westman Atelier Lit Up. Lit Up, I always forget that. Lit Up highlight stick. It's in the shade Nectar. Loving this one, loving the pinky tone. I think it's gonna look really nice with this blush too, and just add that extra layer of juicy glow. And putting this right on top of the powder just helps to bring any shine back into the face that we just removed from the powder, but it's gonna be where we want it to be and not where we don't want it to be. I always think of the highlighter as the middle of the sandwich, the middle of the concealer and powder and your blush and contour. Just that little highlighter right on the line marries the two together. At least that's what it looks like in my brain. So I'm very happy with the base. That's looking delicious and juicy. What do you guys think? Oh! Let's move on to the eyes. There's a lot of new eye products that have been rolling out. First of all, we've got the new Liquid Silk liquid eyeshadows from Lisa Eldridge. These are looking glorious. She's kind of doing like a whole product revamp, product rebrand right now. She did a huge sale on her site. Very excited to see what's to come, but Lisa Eldridge pretty much does no wrong ever. So very excited about these. So they sent over 3 shades for me to try, which they all look so beautiful. I might start with those, but then also Kosas came out with 10 eye intensifying shades of their Soul Gazer Intensifying Gel Eyeliners. And they sent it in this cute little box. Very millennial coded color palette here, might I add. Very exciting. It looks like a little back to school moment. Very cute. Love to see the browns in here. That makes me very, very excited. Also, there's a lavender, which, never forget, way back in the day, Lisa Eldridge, speaking of, talked about putting a lavender pencil into the waterline. I feel like this might be a little bit too deep for that moment, but still beautiful. Excited to have that as an option. Okay, what's not exciting is that as I've opened all of the lids, they're all sticking out. But I'm very excited about these 2 browns. This is Depth and this is Allure. And then there's also a black, but love the options. That Allure shade, that true cool tone deep brown, I think that's what we're gonna go for today. These are the 3 shades that I've got from Lisa Eldridge. This is Irene, this is Phoebe, and this is a name that I can't pronounce, but they look like just those perfect everyday neutral undertones. I can't really decide which one to put on right now. I think I'm gonna go in with Phoebe, which is this really nice light camel shade, which honestly might be more light than I was expecting to do today. But I think it could be very pretty for an all over lid shade. That just blended out so easily. And knowing Lisa, it's probably gonna be the most perfect crease proof, waterproof, long lasting eyeshadow base. So nice, love that all over the eye area. I might take a little bit of that on my lower lash line as well. I don't know why I say might. I am putting this on my lower lash line. There is no guessing here. It is indeed what I'm doing. Just blend that out. So pretty, so easy for every day. That's a little bit more light and camel-y than I think I was planning to go for my eyes, but I think it's gorgeous nonetheless. Beautiful, like absolutely blurring and seamless. So easy to apply. Love that. Then I'm gonna do like an OG classic Lisa move. I'm gonna take this dark brown Kosas liner and I'm going to apply this onto my lashes. She was always the queen of doing these little dots between the lashes to intensify the thickness and depth in the lashes without doing a liner. So imagine I'm just remembering this all wrong. Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me one bit. But in my recollection, I started doing this because of her, putting the little dots in the eyes. Oh my gosh, I just got a speck of the liner. Ooh, do not speck onto my perfected base, please. Anyway, yeah, doing little dots, and then I'm just gonna blend this out with a small brush, and it just adds that depth and intensity to the lash line without doing anything too crazy to the eyes. One of my favorite, easiest tips for the eyes ever. And I'm also gonna do the same for the lower lashes. I'm just gonna stab a little bit of this liner into the lashes, just on the outer half. I'm not going into the waterline, I'm just stabbing onto the lash. And then I'll keep my same brush and just blend that out. And you could totally just leave that here and apply mascara. It's such a nice, easy way to give a little pop to your eyes for every day, but we're gonna go in a little bit more because I was so excited about seeing this in the mail. Urban Decay relaunched the Naked palette, which, to be honest, this was such a cult classic favorite. This was like the birth of the love for eyeshadow palettes in the YouTube and internet space. And I have to say, the original Naked palette wasn't actually ever my favorite. I really loved the shades in the Naked 2 palette. I also dabbled a lot with the Naked 3 palette, loved the Naked Basics palette. I never really like dove fully into the lore of the original Naked palette. However, when they re-brought this out for a little burst of nostalgia, I was so excited, and I've been so excited to get my hands in here and do a little play. So how long has it been since you've seen this? I know so many of you, when I posted this on Instagram, you guys were messaging me being like, oh my god, I have my original palette. I'm pretty hardcore when it comes to my clearing out, so this was a palette that I had, dare I use the word, decluttered from my makeup collection long ago, but honestly, I'm keeping this forever. This is something that I just have to add to the makeup memory box and never get rid of it again, because now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, the cool tones in here are so perfect. I actually don't know why I didn't use this more. Look at, oh my god, Naked Sidecar Buck Half Baked, like come on. I had to pull this out for a little play. So I'm gonna use this to add a little bit more smoke. So I'm gonna take Buck, this nice light brown, and I'm just gonna apply that right on top of where we applied the liner and blend that into the liquid shadow. And just having this eyeliner as well as the eyeshadow base underneath is just gonna make sure that these stay all day. So you can always just use an eyeshadow primer, you can use your concealer, or you can use a base like a liquid shadow, and that's just gonna make sure that your eye makeup stays on all day. Oh my god, how perfect is Buck? That is such a nice color. What a pleasure to be reacquainted. I'm gonna be honest, I wonder if they changed anything. I wonder if anything has changed about the formula, or if they totally just went like copy paste from the old eyeshadow palettes. Like, what does that look like behind the scenes? What does their factory look like printing this out? Do they just have an old button that's like, original Naked, click, and it rolls out on the production line? Like, I would actually love to know how that works. All right, I'm gonna take that same shade. Loving this Buck Life. Do they sell this individually? Because this would be a shade that I would travel with. This is so pretty. I also feel like I haven't done a proper little smoky eye like this in so long. I'm gonna take the tiniest little bit of Dark Horse, which is this beautiful, deep, shimmery brown, and I'm gonna put that right on top. Just adds a little bit of interest, a little bit of depth right to the lash line. I think that's very nice. You won't see too much of it on the camera, but just know in person, we're looking layered. Grabbing another little small brush and going in with a Virgin, wow, scandalous. I'm just gonna pop that right onto the inner corner here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna also dip into Dark Horse. And I'm gonna draw a little line right here because it felt like that was looking a little bit naked. Get it? It's looking naked. Okay. Then I simply must go in with a layer of Sidecar. This is so beautiful. Oh my, I'm just gonna pat that right on top. Come on, it's so pretty. The eyes be looking expensive, my friends. Expensive. I'm gonna take a little brush, do one final little blend. I'm also gonna take a clean brush and just do a little wipe like this. It might not be doing anything, but just for my own sanity to make sure that there's nothing dibbling underneath, and then we'll go in with mascara. This is my Lancome Hypnose mascara in the shade brown. When I tell you that this mascara has changed me, it's so good. It doesn't flake and it's so easy to remove. Like, I actually can't get over it. And the fact that this is the shade brown, it's a nice deep brown. It's just that slight touch softer than a black mascara. And it's so easy to remove at the end of the day. Like, I can't get over it. It's such a good mascara. Now let's do a little classic nude lip, shall we? I'm gonna use the Dior 303 Grayish Attitude, which I feel like will be the perfect combination with the tones in our eyes right now. And every once in a while, I do love to do the makeup artist move of just using an eyeshadow brush to buff in the lip liner. Sometimes it's just a little bit softer and more delicate looking than when I use my finger. It also depends on the formula of the lip pencil. Like, this pencil is actually a little bit more dry, so I find that it looks a lot nicer if I use a brush to do this than if I use my finger. Then I'm gonna use the Chantecaille Lip Chic in the shade Patience, which is such a good, classique, cool toned nude shade. It's so juicy and beautiful, and she has not been getting enough love in my everyday makeup life, and I think it's so, it just looks luxe. I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like this lip combo would be something that you would see on a celeb. All right, I should have done this before my mascara, but one final spritz of setting spray, and that's the makeup done. I tried something different, and I take it back immediately. I thought, oh, let me just like twist my pieces away and clip it. Maybe that'll make my hair look nice. Like I said, guys, I'm having a hair moment. It's just, it's not working with me. Maybe it's the shirt that's throwing it off, you know? I just don't know. Anyway, this is the finished makeup look. Those are some new products, some old favorites, an entire face of natural glowing makeup with a little bit of fall glam tossed in. Love the look, honestly. Thrilled with how it turned out. Gotta go fix my hair, but until then, this is the makeup. I'll show you guys in the window. I feel like whenever I step in front of the window, you get a true visual of how it actually looks, so hopefully you guys can see. But how fun to be reunited also with the Urban Decay Naked palette. Oh, it makes me feel excited to like pull out some deeper shadows and get a little bit more glam for the fall and winter. But this is the finished makeup look, you guys. I'm gonna do a little check-in at the end of the day to see how the base wore, but for now it's looking so delightful and so skin-like. And I'll check in with you later, probably looking very different after a nice busy day of filming. See you soon. Hey. Listen guys, I've got to say, this was a tough day to do a makeup review because I filmed a clothing video today and it's otherwise also been a very, very long day. So I had many things off and on my face, and honestly, with that being considered, I think it has lasted very, very well. The eyes, I feel like the eyeshadow is just pretty much all gone. I don't really know how that happened, really. I'm looking expired. I'm looking unwell. I honestly left it too long. Otherwise, I have no complaints. Honestly, I don't look as flawless as I could if I were wearing like a full coverage, full beat makeup, but because I wasn't, because this was a more natural, very glowy day, it's honestly not so bad for being on my face for 11 hours. So I apologize that this isn't the most thorough visual I could have been for the makeup, but hopefully you can see what I look like at the end of the night and after a very, very long, very busy day. Very excited to continue to put some of these to the test. Very excited about the complexion balm. I think it's a very promising everyday product and would love to hear your thoughts if you guys have tried them. Please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much, as always, for being here and for watching. Love you all dearly, and I'll see you all soon for a new video. Bye!